Hey everyone, it's Char from Char's Fashion Nation. Don't mind how I look right now. I look like crap. And I can admit it. Okay, so we are here for a Char's Spoopy story time. Yes, I am gluing on some nails. And I have always liked to use, I stopped using other nail polishes after I started purchasing Holo Taco. Yes, Holo Taco. Because they are an amazing product. Now, the owner, Christine, she is in Canada. Yes, she is. They just so happen to have a distribution center in New Jersey. What is that behind me? You see that? Anyway, so we're here to do a spoopy story time. And now, I have heard about the missing children in the woods, right? I've heard this before. And we're going to do that while I do my nails. Now, I've already done 2 of my nails, so this is basically what we're going for. So what I do, I take this, what's that? Tell me you hear that, right? So to get a shorter coffin nail, what I do is I do a shorter stiletto cut, right? Then I take these. I'm going to show you guys this little trick. All of a sudden, you have a coffin nail. Just straighten that out. That does need to be straightened. That looks horrible. Sometimes it's harder to get these straightened. And then sometimes the other side doesn't come off too good. So it's like, adjust it to however you want it for your comfortableness with your nails. Absolutely. So anyway, now that we have that down to the size, I'm not giving you the finger. I'm just going like this. So, okay. The missing children in the woods. Now, these stories are straight up out of Tennessee. Absolutely, straight up out of Tennessee. So I'm going to glue on my pinky nail while I'm starting to tell you this story. Now, go over and check out Holo Taco. They always have a sale on something. They have bundles. They just have amazing product. Girl, you formulated some good stuff. And I was watching some of Christine's videos just to find out Holo Taco is her second job. Really? That's cool, though. Also, she did Sophia Nagar's nails for her wedding. I'm not getting married. Trust me. Which they turned out beautiful. I totally love that. So anyway, now that we have these on, like I said, I'm going to tell the story and do my nails at the same time. Normally I have the camera the other way. But okay, the missing children in the woods. Now most people, you like to go camping, you like to take your kids with you. This is not a missing 411. So this is like way before a lot of stuff that we have. Oh my gosh, now that came off like that, right? I know if I press hard enough, I can totally get a shorter stiletto. Oh. Next time, right? You really have to concentrate on how you do that, otherwise you mess up. Okay, so this basically happened in the 1800s when a man took his children, well, I should say the family took their children, for some fun, just go hang out in the woods, you know, have some time away from, everything else. Because trust me, even in this day and age, we would also like that. I'm really digging that. I should just leave that one like that. Oh no, I gotta remember I can't. Well, no, I can scratch right here. The Botox went in my forehead. Lucky I can raise my eyebrows. But now that I know I can do that. Another thing I do after is I sharpen my nails afterwards. It's a salon nail file that I have. So, okay. Anyway, so we're going to start with using the base coat, the Holo Taco base. To start with. That's what happened to that. Okay, so the late 1800s, a family went into the woods in Tennessee. Just, get away from everything and just, like we would for vacation. So they had both of their sons and their little girl with them, which their youngest child really was not that old. So they thought, okay, they were safe in the woods, away from everybody else and all that, because that's how we like to be with some of our neighbors these days, right? And so when they're just like setting up, because back then they didn't really have a lot for doing certain things. So it's like either using your covered wagon from your family or you're making some sort of tent out of something, or perhaps even a lean-to. So they're setting up camp and everything's going fine, right? They didn't realize where they had set up camp. Now remember, in the late 1800s, because of Andrew Jackson, natives weren't really allowed in too many places, so even in our own woods. So, does that make it hard on everybody? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, that does make it hard on everyone. So, the point to this is, not really the point. This, the children, they decided, before it got too dark, they wanted to go explore in the woods. So, okay, they went exploring. And as always, mother's intuition, right? Sensing that felt like somebody's watching you. Right? So, heck yeah, if you have true mother's intuition, you know all about that. You can always sense when there's something not right. This is true. I always did that with my kids. Love my kids. Glad I have them. Love them. Love them. Love them. In fact, I took care of my oldest son on my own for 9 months before he married his dad. And then we had 3 others. So, anyway, now I'm just doing the tips, which is the white. I do the white first. I had a different video for the Spoopy story time, but I had to pause it and then something went wrong with it, so I just decided, let me redo this. video. So anyway, now that we have those, isn't that pretty? That white. It's called not milky white. Not milky. Look at it. It really isn't milky white. This is kind of soft off-white tone. Oh, I gotta remember not to do that. They give injections in the back of the head too. For Botox. My medical Botox done yesterday. Anyway, back to the story. So you gotta figure, like, back then, the only thing you could really rely on is the mother's intuition. So a lot of people would warn some people like it's some sort of like folklore-ish, but if it's folklore, it could be true. What is that? Do you see that? There's nothing physically there. That's weird. Maybe the Spoopies came by to say hello. And just in case, use your earbuds. Sometimes that does come through. So, okay, back to the story before I'm only going to be on here for like 20-25 minutes. So, the kids are exploring. You would think, like, this is an up-to-date story. No. The kids are exploring, and time shifts. These kids go missing. They weren't that far from the camp, but they went missing. Like, no more than maybe 10 feet from their campsite. They go missing. Would that creep anybody out? Heck yeah. Because the youngest is just sitting there, right? She's sitting there. She's just a baby. Just a baby. So, the only child it didn't take is the baby. The baby was protected because it couldn't walk yet. Now, there are places in the Tennessee woods that are known to have Crohn's. Not Crohn's disease, just like Crohn's. Now, if you don't know what a Crohn is, it's kind of like, there's different kinds of mountain witches, right? One of them happens to be a Crohn. I'm going to try these, obviously. So, they suspected that it was an old crone. They suspected that. Was it the old crones? No. Was it the mountain witches? No. But also up in the Tennessee woods, there happens to be other things. So, upon their going missing, nobody knew what the mother and father really were up to, right? So, and they actually weren't up to anything. At least the mother wasn't. So the father goes out looking for them, and he comes back, and he has like blood on his shoe. So, not really paying attention to anything, she thought, okay, well, maybe he stepped in a dead animal by accident. Why would you think that your kids are missing? And when the story actually, like, they went back to their town to tell what happened, the husband didn't want to say anything at first, but she's like, no, we have to let people know. So they go back to their town. They leave their daughter with an old woman, which was fine because she actually kept her safe. But then she comes up missing. Like, oh, she got lost in the woods. She got lost in the woods. Did she really? Mm-hmm. So in the woods, the mother could hear the screaming of her children, right? Like, help us, help us. I guess that would be more like a past version of the Blair Witch Project, except the Blair Witch Project was fake. But yeah, they hear, help us, please come help us. So she comes along, she sees her kids, right? And uh, at a tree, kind of like tied to it, right? And they're screaming, help us, help us. Why would you tie your, not her, but why would you tie your kids to a tree? We're only out exploring. So, come to find out, like, they knew something was up. I shouldn't almost be out of black. Really shouldn't. Like, what's going on here? I just ordered this months ago, and I haven't really used too much of it. I love this one. This is an actual one coat black, but I shouldn't have had to be redipping that anyway, because it comes out like that. I think that's cute. So these kids know something. The mom comes along, right? She finds them, and they're like, "No, look out behind you!" Boom, knocks her out. But what he didn't understand is who was standing behind him, right? He didn't know this. In the forest, right, in the woods, there are actually things that will protect you. So he doesn't see this being in the woods. Now, mostly people will say a crone is evil, shouldn't be around it, whatever. But they will protect you. Mountain witches and crones can also be very protective, and the spirits in the woods can also be very protective. So lo and behold, behind him, and this is why I say it's spoopy, because you never know what's in the woods, people. You never know what's in the woods. This thing reaches up, and you can't really tell what it was, because it looked like you just couldn't see. It was the color of the woods. It grabbed him and drug him through the forest. The sad thing is he was willing to sacrifice. Oh, the kids weren't dead. Well, weren't all the way. They were there dehydrated. Now, the only person that did die that they found later on was the husband. He was found hung upside down in a tree, right? Tied to the tree upside down, instead of just tied to the tree like he did to his children, which was horrific anyway. I'm gonna retry those because last time the black didn't dry all the way. And then when it doesn't, you get like that little black spot on the, yeah, I don't think you can see that, but anyway. Sometimes you have to double dry the one coat black. And it's a good thing to have a nail dryer. So anyway, that's what I was saying. It's like, but if you really think about it, everybody that's alive is a child of somebody, right? So, yeah. Would you want to go into the woods and camp out in Tennessee knowing that you may disappear? And why would he want to do this to his children, right? Because sometimes there were just weirdos that would, nobody really thought about this. Back then, people did have like insurance on something, and sometimes you were able to take out insurance on a family member. I'm trying to make sure this is dry. Okay, it's dry. And then put the super hollow taco over that. Just need one coat of it. These are already coated. I just coated that one. So yeah, even back then in the late 1800s, people would actually take out insurance on a family member or hire people to kill them and claim damage and suffering, for loss of a family member. Well, since something went and grabbed him their family was better off. Here's the weird thing, right? They get back into town, say what happened. And the old lady that was taking care of her baby, like I said, the old people were like protective. She hands the child back over to the mother, and the child just happens to have a twig off of a tree in her hand. Remember, she was too small to crawl. She was not let out of the sight of the mother, but did the baby do it? That is a mystery to this day. And like I said, go check out Holo Taco. I did tell them that I was doing a spoopy story time today while doing my nails. Tell me kindly in the comments below. Do you like that? I mean, it's different. I have never done my nails this way before. It doesn't hurt to be different sometimes and style yourself your way. Have it your way. It's not Burger King, but you can do your nails your way. And also, someone else I would love for you to go follow, right? Go follow other than some hollow is a new friend of mine. She has these really awesome glitters and other cosmetics. And she has an Instagram and a TikTok. So I would love for you to go follow her. And yeah. So remember, everybody, stay spoopy and beware of what's in the woods. And I will see you in the next one. Spoop you later.